Well, hey guys, part three to this to this never-ending video. This will hopefully be the last one, and then we'll talk about other stuff in that question and answer time. But y'all keep putting out good questions, and we want to answer those so that everyone has time to think through and process this, and it's not in the moment in that Q&A on Saturday. So regarding aesthetics, I'll address one thing, and then Kent will. This will be short. Yeah, regarding aesthetics, let's just bring up the big issue that's in everybody's mind, and that's the red carpet. Um, you know, maybe there's a Bulldog fan that likes the carpet out there, a Chicago Bulls fan. I don't know what all sports teams are red that you might like that, but I think most people are quite uncomfortable with the red carpet. It's not our preference. Um, so, but in all seriousness, I know that is an issue that some of y'all really don't like that, and you feel like it could be a hindrance at some level, maybe even at a superficial level. So the quick answer is we can get rid of the carpet. Not initially, we don't have the money to do that right off the bat, but we can change the carpet out at some point, and that can be on a list of priorities regarding building renovations that we begin saving for that and make that a point to change that and turn it a neutral color. And then the pews could be something we could reassess in the days to come down the road as well. The lighting, some of these things are very easy, some of them are more costly, but certainly here's the thing: if we get the building at the price we're looking at right now, these things can most definitely come in the coming days. If we don't get a building at the price that this building is at, and we're looking at other things that are way more expensive, we won't have money to ever redo anything. We'll be in such massive debt. Um, so so I just think these are realistic things to bring up. They're actual changes that we can make in the coming days. We may have to endure some of these things that aren't preferable for a season, and that's a small price to pay for the Lord granting our requests and giving us a place to worship Him. Um, can you think of anything else on that particular issue? Feel free, guys, to ask more questions on that. But uh, yeah, those are legitimate concerns. And again, this thing's fully furnished. So back in the back, there was a fire 5 years ago. That 1/3 of this building is completely new.
Yeah.
It's 5 years old. It was rebuilt completely. And they haven't even used that area. The whole kitchen, the fellowship hall, most of the building doesn't look outdated. The sanctuary looks a little 70s with some of the lighting fixtures and stuff. But again, those things could be updated. So, and then even the outside of the building, you can do, they call them a facelift for your church building. You can change the exterior of the building as well over time. Those could be things to adjust. So all of that can be assessed in the future. Don't let that hinder your rejoicing at something that could be good. But that's the aesthetics. I don't know if you want to mention the other issue.
Yeah, the second issue is just maintenance. I mean, if any of you have ever rented and then bought a home, you know that the biggest difference and perhaps the biggest burden in owning a home is that things tear up and you have to pay for them. The good thing is that we're going to be getting an inspection, and so hopefully any major things can be addressed before we buy the building. We can either come off the asking price more or get those things fixed before we move in. But things will tear up and things will need to be addressed. And early on especially, we'll need to bear a lot of those burdens. I know John, Mark, and me, just in our jobs and throughout our weeks, we'll be doing a lot of maintenance and those types of things early on. We'll have times where we ask people to come volunteer. We will really need to bear a lot of these responsibilities, especially in the beginning. I mean, some churches can afford to pay staff members to do everything, but early on, we're just not going to be in that position. So we're going to kind of need to be all hands on deck and really see this as stewarding this building well and taking ownership of it. I know every church I've ever been in before the cross, because we haven't had a building, we've had volunteer days on a Saturday, maybe once or twice a year, where everybody comes up and works.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll need to do some of those things. The good thing is that we have a lot of brothers and sisters in our church that can do a lot of things, cleaning, fixing things, painting. So that's good that we'll be able to kind of keep a lot of those things in house. And then I know one big dream that I've had for this facility that I'm actually praying for, just kind of on my own private desires, is that the Lord would allow us to equip and raise up men for the ministry. And so one way that we can do that is through housing interns. And there's a place upstairs that you'll see next Saturday where we could house 3 or 4 men who are training for the ministry who can also live there. And so one thing that I think would be awesome is that as we're equipping men and training them up for the work of the ministry, is to have them take care of the facility as they live there and as they study. That kind of be their part of their job, is to upkeep the building as well. And so those are just a few things that we can do. And then if there's things that we just can't handle, then we'll have to go out and hire someone to fix an AC or a refrigerator or whatever it is. But as much as we can, keeping those things in house and bearing those responsibilities ourselves. But it's something that, again, it's a great concern, and we definitely need to be thinking about those things as we press forward in this.
Yeah. Well, amen, guys. Keep the questions coming. We'll continue to try to address these. I think this will be our last video. Anything else we'll address with the question and answer, or just privately, if you call us, we can talk with you about it. Blessings, guys.